to benefit.
You use no pesticides at your own home. What about your clients who want the perfect
Many
lawn?
of them are completely unaware that they are now almost pesticide free.
Oh, really? You don't...
The technology has marched forth so fast and rapidly that there's really not much need. Plus, it's very general understandings is pretty counterproductive to use genetically altered organisms to treat natural pests, because everything you changes something else. So we've learned in organics to go back to working with nature. My home is a good example, even though I don't have all native plants. For instance, I have 17 bird feeders at my home. We have bluebirds, but my habitat, that's a good question, boys. I don't have wide enough space. Bluebirds, just like eastern,
I know.
you know, meadowlarks,
Yeah.
many of those birds, like cedar waxwings, need larger open field habitat.
Yes.
I'm in the woods.
Okay.
So I'm mostly attracting woodland species, but all the migrating birds.
Warblers.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
What's the greatest indicator species is we have 2 pairs of nesting Cooper's hawks. So the Cooper's hawks nest in the one oak tree over here. Then they had young 2 years ago. That nest on the other side. And the spoiled children never left. So now I wish I could tell you that we did a better job of restoring the balance of nature, but so now they triangulate and take the songbirds off the bird feeders. So I was sitting with my son and we saw the Cooper's hawk take the chickadee off the bird feeder, crash into the plate glass window, not drop the chickadee and take off. This is nature.
I know.
So you have to accept the deer, cute Bambi, and how many of my clients want to kill them all, eradicate them. Not a good plan, by the way.
No.
We're all here. I tell them, you're renters. The deer, they're permanent.
Good, I'm so glad to hear you say that.
I mean, let's tell the truth. They're part of... You want to get all excited? Go have some venison. Personally, I really don't care to eat deer too much. We have moose now in Newtown, and
you have moose?
Oh yeah, we have bear. In my backyard.
Well, I know they've even come into White Plains.
Right. What we did, and I'll give the County of Westchester a lot of credit, and we're working more and more with them in developing rain gardens and other natural habitats to reverse this tide of damage that we've done by nuking the environment.
Yeah.
And we really have enriched our ecosystems by bringing a lot of these indicator species back, and we can tell.
Yeah.
Years ago, we were losing the eagles and the hunts.
Yes.
Now they come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with them comes other things. So, the diversity can be measured through the eyes of a child. We're doing a program now with the Native Plant Center for families and children about re-examining, trying to find the child in us.
Yeah.
Because when you're growing up, you associate many things to flowers, to water, experiences.
I think that's
smells.
a wonderful program. I saw that was being offered.
It's very exciting to me because I was always voted least likely to grow up, so I'm happy to come back to White Plains. Show that I'm
that was
still
in the yearbook.
Well, yeah. But it's fascinating, to me, to try to re-examine your life through the innocence that we haven't completely lost.
Yeah.
It's still here within us.
I was lucky to grow up with a family that spent a great deal of time outdoors. My father used to take us for walks through the woods. It was a routine thing, summer and winter. So it was very outdoor oriented. We played outdoors. All summer we were outdoors. And I always had a love of that kind of thing in nature and
Instead
so
of
forth.
on the computer now, where most of our children are in a room.
It's a temptation. I would have loved that too, had that come along when I was a child. And television. We didn't have that when I was a child. These are temptations that take away from other things that are more wonderful.
Well, everything is about balance, though.
Yeah.
And we often talk, a lot of the programs that I'm involved in are revolved around this restoring the balance of nature. Well, what is that? Restore to when? Some of the work that we're involved in is called ecological restoration. What does that mean? Wetland restoration, ecological. We're restoring what to when? Well, we really don't know. What we're doing is we're trying to pay attention and model nature. And everybody can remember some place. My childhood was so poor ecologically. I think that's why I'm trying to make up for it now. On Sundays, this is really pathetic. I can't believe I'm going to say this. We used to go to Yankee Stadium, which is down the road on McCombs Park where I used to live, and sit under an apple tree next to a cyclone fence, and that was our family tree, and we used to picnic under the tree.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have grass, we didn't have plants. We lived in an apartment building in the concrete jungle. So what did we get? We got fire engines. You brought that up before?
Yeah.
I couldn't, when I moved to Westchester when I was 13, I couldn't sleep for weeks because I was so used to fire engines and, you know.
The noise.
And
a lot of people say that when they come to the country. It's just too quiet.
To the country? Oh, this is the country. We don't consider this the country.
No.
I didn't know what that meant until I was 15, until I went to the Catskills, to Catskill Park, and eventually the Adirondacks.
Right.
And I was like, wow, there's trees, like all together, like families of trees.
Oh.
You see, like when people plant a white birch, there's a pet peeve of mine. Please don't plant one lonely white birch in the front of your yard.
No.
It really likes to be with its brothers and sisters.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so all lonely. And that's why
that's the way they are in nature, right?
Disease, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go, excuse me, if you go to the Berkshires, that's the natural habitat.
Yeah.
The understory, the well-drained slope, and it's shaded by the more mature trees.
Yeah.
That's where they're happy. So when we take plants, it's just like if you took me and plopped me in the middle of the place I grew up now, I wouldn't be happy because I know the difference.
Yeah.
I'm much better as a woodland creature. Don't put me. I went to school. We had an asphalt football field at Taft in the Bronx, literally an asphalt football field. Grass was a boon.
That was pretty hard on the bones, huh?
Well, it was a pretty hard environment. It's a much better world now. It's a much better world altogether. That's why I'm happy to come back to White Plains and happy to go back to the Bronx, you know, because it really, we have made great strides in improving our environment.
Yeah.
So it's
but
never
we
too
still
late
have
to
a
make
lot of people to convince about have the perfect. I mean, you do all kinds of landscaping, and you have clients who want
with
golf
the
course
lawns, yes.
lawns.
Right.
What do you say to them?
First of all, you have to have a purpose for what you do. Many lawns have no purpose. Unless I see children playing on a lawn, why is it a lawn?
Yeah.
It's the highest maintenance thing in landscaping.
Yeah.
Requires the most pruning. You mow it every week.
Right.
You fertilize it 5 times a year, whether it needs it or not.
Yeah.
You water it every day. Not a good idea.
No,
Deep watering. Follow the grassroots guidelines to organic lawn care. Water it, you know, once a week, deeply.
Early in the morning, or first thing in the morning.
Preferably.
Yeah.
Right. All of that said, most lawns are really not productive. They're tremendously needy for resources. So limit the lawn space to where children play on it, or it serves even some ornamental function.
We've done that with our backyard. We don't have a back lawn anymore.
There
it's
you go.
all, well, my son-in-law built a little pond back there for us, which does attract the birds. There's a little shallow end where they come and they bathe. And we are really out of time, and we should really do this again. I love talking to you, and we have so many interests in common that I would like to talk about.
Well, thank you very much.
But thank you, Jay Archer of John Jay Landscape Development.
Yes.
And you do all kinds of things, and we really should have talked about that a little bit.
Oh, it's
you do,
unnecessary.
but
You
look
can always
up.
find us on the
Your website is landdesign.net.
.net.
Landdesign.net.
We're unavoidable. You'll find us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's great. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to This Blooming City, and please join us again next time. For the White Plains Beautification Foundation, I'm Beth Wallach. Good night.